going live on YouTube, streaming live on YouTube. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be Michigan, Nebraska, Illinois, men's gymnastics.
Coming off back-to-back losses, the Illini look to regain its footing against two of the top programs in the land. Number 2 Michigan and number 3 Nebraska are here in Champaign in a tri-meet with huge national implications on the line. Good afternoon and welcome to Huff Hall. I'm Carson Gordy and I'm with Michael Paradise, and today is senior day for the Illinois Illini, even though there's no fans. But what should Illinois be focused on if they want to come back and upset two really, really, really good teams?
Okay. So for Illinois to come back after 2 tough losses and get a big upset victory against Michigan and Nebraska, not only do they need to hit their routines today, but they also need to hit good, solid routines. Because the point of emphasis over this last week was how can we eliminate deductions? And how can we go up there and hit the routines at that elite level? And if Illinois can go out there today and do that, then they will be very happy at the end of the day.
Well, that's the thing, each of these teams are all good programs, but they all have their own issues. Issues are it's relative to everybody. Nebraska, they don't really have that alpha male superstar. They're all just super good. Michigan, they haven't played in forever. Because of COVID issues. Illinois, back-to-back losses. So it's what's the main focus? Gymnastics seems like such a mental sport. Is it you just have to focus on yourself?
It is an extremely mental sport, and the big thing that Illinois needs to do when they go out there is they just need to attack their routines. Because when you get a little nervous, you tend to get conservative and you kind of pull in, and when you tend to do that, that's when those mistakes come up, and that's when you see those either falls or large deductions. So Illinois needs to go out there today and just attack the routines like it's another day in the practice gym.
Yeah. Illinois so far are 2-2 on the season, 2 tough losses, but today is senior day, so they want to right the ship. Nebraska lost to Penn State earlier in the year, bounced back really well against Minnesota. And then there's Michigan. They had the one virtual online meet, pretty good score for 409. Do you think they can replicate that again?
Yeah, Michigan definitely has the talent to replicate that score. They have their 2 superstars, Cameron Bott and Paul Judah. Cameron being a senior, he is in incredible form right now. And same with Paul Judah. Paul Judah is a standout sophomore. They're both national team, if not world championship caliber guys. So Michigan is definitely going to be relying on the 2 of them heavily today to look to replicate that score. And if they can do so, then Michigan's making the statement that hey, we're here, we're the top dog in the country, and we're for sure the top dog in the Big Ten.
And it seems tough for Illinois. It's so far, their high score is low 400s. Even if Michigan has an off day, they're probably still going to score 405, 406. What's the key to make up that 5-point difference?
This is a tri-meet.
So the key
Michigan,
goes back to what I was saying
Illinois,
earlier,
Nebraska.
it's hitting clean, solid routines, and if a mistake does happen, not letting it affect the rest of your routine, and finishing strong and just attacking these sets.
So Illinois starting off on the floor today, and here's Max Diab. Scored a 12.35 last time around.
Max Diab with a very nice combination tumbling pass right there. Yeah, Max is a very, very interesting tumbler. He has a lot of difficulty, little different style approach to his tumbling, but he definitely gets the job done. He's very solid on floor exercise for the Illini.
I've been doing a lot of women's gymnastics meets recently, and it's just weird not hearing the music and all the dancing, you know what I mean, the pageantry.
It's definitely a different
text.
Oh yeah, it's a completely different atmosphere.
Gotta get into it. Some of those song selections, though. Yeah.
Oh no, they're pretty good. I definitely agree. Max is gearing up for his dismount here. He's going to be looking for the stick. And that was a clean, solid routine to start off the Illini on floor.
Did he recover well at the end?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he was a tad bit hoppy on that landing, but overall that routine was pretty solid, and that was a great start for the Illini.
There's Michigan on the rings. It's Jacob Moore just finished off his first routine. For Nebraska, here's Charlie Giles. Scored a 13.35.
And looking back at that dismount with of Jake Moore, it was a very, very well done double twisting, double tuck dismount off rings.
My bad, actually, apologies. This is Yanni Karampoulos, who scored a 12.95 his last time around.
Yeah, we got a freshman pommel horse swinger who's going to be second up for Nebraska.
He's getting ready to do his routine.
So, Charlie Giles, who was first up for Nebraska on the pommel horse, scored a 12.5. So Yanni is now looking to build off of that score. A 12.5 is not too bad, but it is also not exactly what Nebraska is looking for. Nebraska is
number one in the nation.
Number one in the nation on pommel horse, so they're looking for those mid-13s across the board of their lineup. So I know Yanni's going to try and up that score.
Charlie Giles so far got a 12.5 in the past one, like what you just said. And looking at Max CF score first on the floor, gave him 5.3 for the first part.
I do think the 5.3 is is definitely an error on that. Back to Yanni on the pommel horse. Right now he just completed some single pommel work. Now the key to pommel horse is staying on the events. Pommel horse is very intricate, and a lower value dismount to end the routine. I know he was looking to do the full value dismount, but that was still a pretty solid hit routine for Nebraska. Now Josh Cook on floor. Josh is he is from the United Kingdom. He's actually from Wales, and this is his first meet of this season so far. So I know he's looking to make a statement for the Illini.
How do you make a difference? Like, how do you stand out on the floor? Like, what are some tips?
So I would say the first thing is obviously difficulty. So you can tell the higher difficulty floor routines based on in simplest terms, the number of twists and the number of flips they do. That, and then also their landings. So you got to see those sticks on all the passes. Every little step after a tumbling pass is a deduction. So when guys go out there, they do difficult tumbling passes and they can stick all of them. That's how you really stand out. Josh with a nice back 1.5 to a punch front full. He should be gearing up for his dismount. And Josh does the easier layout dismount. That's due to, you can see that ankle tape he's got on his ankle right now. He slightly injured, so he went for the lower value dismount to, one, not irritate the ankle, but also just ensure no extra deductions on that landing. So
It still looked like he was gliding in the air, though.
Oh yeah,
Very
yeah.
impressive.
And that's another thing, is you want to see that rise on those tumbling passes.
All right. Back on the pommel horse for Nebraska.
Got Mitch Tyndall.
Mitch Tyndall, this is his first time scoring on this meet. He's new.
So Mitch now in his travel sequences. For a pretty good, solid routine. That was a pretty good dismount too. So I know Nebraska will definitely be happy with that one.
What kind of score should he expect?
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't want to throw out a score. Intuition, I'm probably going to go with a 13 on that. Not going to pinpoint a score though. So probably in the 13 range, but overall, Nebraska will be happy with that. And now we have. Yep, and now we have Paul Judah on rings. So Paul Judah is one of those standout all-arounders for Michigan. Like I was saying earlier, they're definitely going to be relying on him. So a good thing to look at on rings are those rings is all about strength.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Is it mostly obviously upper body?
Oh yeah, it's all upper body, arms, chest, back. So it's all of that static strength move. So you can tell really good rings guys based on the amount of strength they do and how well they hold it.
Look at that stick.
And of course, Judah goes out, sticks that a really good dismount. So that's gonna score very well.
He's one of the best in the nation for a reason.
Oh yeah.
Back on the floor with Illinois.
Yeah, on the floor.
Yeah, Amish Carter.
Yeah, so Hamish he's also another international guy. He was up for his dismount right there. Pretty solid routine for Hamish. So Hamish is actually having a video trial for his European Championship. So he's looking to go on some international assignments. So it's a pretty big meet for him as well, individually, on top of the team event.
Illinois in the nation right now ranked 7th on the floor. What do you think they could do better on the floor?
Mainly landings. Controlling landings and try not to take too many steps. So Khalil Jackson just finished up his horse routine, a little shaky on that dismount. He is going to lose some tense there for his body shape and pausing a little bit. And as you can see, Paul Judah just with a absolute solid stick on that groom's dismount.
Here's Cameron Brock for the Michigan Wolverines.
Again, this is the second guy, that 1-2 punch of Michigan. So Cameron Brock is looking just really good. And now Cameron and Paul will be competing in the Winter Cup competition next weekend to try and make national team for the upcoming Olympics. So this is a pretty good practice meet for that meet next weekend.
Ooh.
It's a very solid Maltese element for Bach. Going into his plunge sequences, very nice strength.
Paul Judah scored a 14.5 on his rings.
That is that's a tremendous score on rings. Yeah. Now those swinging elements are called Yamawakis. And you'll see about the vast majority of guys do those today.
Right now we're able to see both the rings and the floor. That's Michael Fletcher for Illinois on the floor.
And Bach again with a
ending a little.
Yeah, so they will not give that a stick, but that was still a solid routine for Cameron Bach. So that 14.5 from Paul Judah and then a great routine from Cameron Bach. Yeah, Michael Fletcher now on the floor exercise. Fletcher will also be competing next weekend at the Winter Cup competition. So Fletcher for Illinois is a very good all-rounder for the Illini. He's not competing all-around today, but that's just in preparation for the Winter Cup next week. But Fletcher is definitely a guy that the Illinois needs to perform well today.
Yeah, he's the highest scoring floor so far this season with a score of 14. That's a team high.
Yep.
What does he do so well? Like how is it better than his teammates?
Fletcher is one of the most talented gymnasts I've ever seen. So he just has an incredible natural ability in all of his gymnastics, and that really distinguishes him.
Here's Evan Crowley right now, 13.85 his last time around.
He's now going into his dismount. And a little pause on that dismount, but overall not too bad.
He's happy.
Oh yeah, he is. Anytime you can go up on a horse and you can hit a routine, and not only hit it, but you can hit a pretty solid and clean routine, you're going to be happy. Horse is one of those events that it's so easy to fall on, and my coach used to joke around and say that there's some truth to it, that the team that can go 5 for 5 on a horse is the team that's going to win the championship. So.
Yeah, because it's that hard.
Oh yeah.
James Reed's on the rings right now for the Wolverines.
And Cameron Bach with 14.35, so another really good score for Michigan.
Solid. I mean,
solid.
Those add up.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you have people like, it's like they'll be able to drop a low score probably. When you have 5 guys just all scoring like that.
A solid dismount. But yeah, we're still in the 6-up-5 count, so each team gets to put up 6 routines on each event, and then the top 5 highest scores count.
Here's Evan Manavon. Good performer so far this year. One of the better Illini in this event.
Yep. And Evan has been a rock for the Illini on floor, which has unusually been a troubling event for Illinois. Usually it's been a pretty solid event, but this year it's been they've had some difficulties on it, so I know they're looking to come back on floor and be that solid floor routine that they usually are. And very good front double full, so front full for Evan. Evan has a lot of twisting in his routine. He's very good.
Oh, can you do the splits? I pulled my groin last time I tried that.
Now, I believe that was Cooper Giles finishing up
For the
his
Pommel
horse
horse.
routine. Now we're back to Evan on the floor.
Nebraska's at 65.8 so far, even before the final drop.
Yep. You can see Evan was fighting for that stuck dismount, but still pretty solid routine for Evan. I know he'll be happy with that one.
Finally up for Michigan on the rings is Thomas Paul. And here's a replay.
So you can see he's a little low, a little slow speed, and that's causing him to split his legs. So the judges will deduct for that.
Michigan's James Reed just reported he got a 13.75 on his performance on the rings. Michigan right now 69.2 on the rings, just shy of 70.
Yep, and Thomas Paul looking to replace one of their low scores here.
There was, I forget which score exactly, but there was one who didn't stick the landing too well, so it's very possible he can replace that score.
Mm-hmm. That's a very interesting dismount. You don't see that too often, but that's a front double pike with a half twist out. So very unique for Thomas Paul and a pretty good routine for him. I know he wanted that stick, and he was a little shaky in his handstands, but still overall a great rings rotation for Michigan.
Finally up for Illinois is Connor McCool. Last week performed very, very well, or his season high so far this season is a 14.25.
Yeah, Connor's another just absolute rock for the Illini on the floor. So you can see Connor did a slightly unique tumbling pass there where he did a round off with a half turn in the middle of it to then face front ways for front tumbling. So you don't see that too often. That's what we call a butterfly. So all gymnasts in their floor routines need to do a non-acrobatic element, and the butterfly fulfills that requirement. Now Connor getting ready for his dismount. Looking for that stick. Oh, almost had it, but still pretty good. pretty good floor routine for Connor.
Illinois right now 69.4 on the floor. Michigan broke 70 in their rings event, 70.5, while Nebraska sits at 66.3. I'll wrap it up for the 6 scorers in this event. Next up, for Illinois, they will be going to the pommel horse. Nebraska will be going to rings. And the Michigan Wolverines will head over to the floor.
Yeah. And now looking at these team scores, so usually floor is the highest scoring, or one of the higher scoring events in men's gymnastics, that and vault. So with Michigan putting up a 69.2 on the rings, they're definitely very happy about that. And Nebraska putting up a solid 66.3 on horse, which tends to be the opposite. Horse tends to be the lowest scoring event. So 66.3 is pretty solid for Nebraska.
Did they live up to the ranking?
They did. I can definitely see with Nebraska, they don't have that just one guy who's rock star on pommel horse. They just across the board, all of their guys are just extremely solid on horse. So 66.3 for Nebraska is pretty good. And they're definitely looking to score a little higher, but overall not bad.
It's not bad. And the range was only 0.8 of a point, so they're all within 12.5 and 13.3.
Yeah.
All
And
pretty much in that area.
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Michigan, rock star so far, Paul Judah, 14.5. And Illinois on the floor, Evan Manavong got a 14.3 with his performance.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Connor Cole's score to come in. Looking to drop their lowest, which was Hamish
Carter's, yeah.
with a 13.65. So
Still 13.65. Not that bad.
not bad.
50 seconds remaining. Oh, and the score just got updated. Illinois has broken 70 points.
Yeah, and that was I know for a fact that coming back on 4 was a huge goal for Illinois. So I know that they'll be very pleased with that rotation. Yeah, anytime you see a team break 70 on an event, that means that they did a very good job. Everybody wants to break 70 on each event, so.
They had Michigan above 70 for a little bit, but they changed the score back to 69.2, so they might have found something.
Yeah, they very well could have input a score wrong or something like that. So, but yeah, Michigan's sitting at a solid 69.2 after rings. So Michigan's looking to put up a really big score on floor, and then Illinois moving to the pommel horse. They're going to be looking to go 5 for 5 today. That's been a struggle point for them this issue. They haven't been able to find a solid lineup where they can not fall. So it's been a big goal for them this week, and they are definitely looking to come back on the horse because Illinois, on the other hand, has some pretty big rock stars on the pommel horse. So Ian Skirky is a very big swinger. Hopefully we get to see him today. He has a very exciting routine, high difficulty. So I know he's looking to have a really good day. And the other gymnasts on Illinois on horse are also very solid, but they just, like I said, they've had trouble finding that cohesion and going 5 for 5. So looking to do that today. And with Nebraska moving to rings, they're looking to build off their solid horse performance.
Nebraska 5th in the nation with the rings. Michigan Wolverines, they ranked 5th on the floor, and Illinois moving to the pommel horse, ranked 6th. Interesting, Illinois 7th overall on the floor. Nebraska and Michigan rank higher right now nationally on the floor. Do you think they'll be able to top 70 like Illinois easily?
I think they can. I think they will. They both have extremely solid floor lineups, and they can break that 70. Yeah.
Kicking it off for Nebraska on the rings would be Dylan LeClaire. For Michigan Wolverines, take that back. Miles Miller will start off. And for Illinois and pommel horse, Tyler Schmidt scored a 13.1 for a season high. Ian Serkey so far is probably the highest performing Illinois athlete on the pommel horse. He actually registered a 14.55 earlier in the season.
Yeah, you can.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, yeah it is. Yeah, it is. And when you're looking at pommel horse, you want to look for that extension in their swing, because the guys that have that nice open circle are just extraordinary at the event. So Ian Sturkey definitely has a swing like that. So it'll be exciting to see how he performs today.
Joe McClare is getting ready for his event. But first, we'll be showing you some floor action with Miles Miller.
So a little shaky on that, landing on that front double front, but brought it back with a solid landing on his next tumbling pass. So now we have Tyler Schmidt on the pommel horse. Tyler finishing up his travel sequences and now getting ready for his handstand dismount. Little paw. Yeah, so anytime you definitely fall. You got a little stuck on the way up to the handstand and you just didn't have the strength to then push all the way through. So Illinois will definitely look to replace that fall later on.
Look at this replay right here. What do you see right here?
So that was a back 1.5 double twisting salto. That gives him full credit on our full element group value for that dismount. He had pretty good height and just a slight over rotation on that landing, but overall it was pretty solid.
Next up for Illinois is Manny Muehlhaus. He's currently the lowest scoring Illini athlete on the event. Has a season high of only 12.25. Have you seen during practice, like, what's he been working on with the pommel horse?
Yeah, so Manny has a outstanding swing. He's put a lot of work into his dismount, which has been a struggle point for him this year, but he had an outstanding week in practice this week, so I know he's definitely looking to come out and put up a big score and provide the team with a great hit.
Here's Moritz Mueller for Nebraska, preparing to be on the rings.
And there you can see those Yamawaki type elements, which are those double flipping swing elements on the rings. So over to Manny on the pommel horse. So far pretty solid in his travel elements. You can see he has got that extension on that swing. Hopefully he maintains it and gearing up for his dismount. So he caught the end of that dismount. He ended up peering to the wrong side of the horse, which will lose difficulty value, and also you get a slight deduction. And you're supposed to end on there's a proper side you're supposed to end on. So falling on the wrong side is a little bit of deduction, but overall not too bad. And as you can see, Mueller showing that rings dismount. I know he will not be too happy about that. So Nebraska will be looking to hopefully put up their remaining 4 routines and they can replace that score.
That's what's nice about gymnastics, though, is that there is a mulligan. I mean, one guy doesn't perform well, and you still got 5 other guys to carry it.
So everybody gets that mulligan until the latter part of the season. So after Winter Cup this upcoming weekend, competition moves to a 5-up, 5-count format. So every routine counts, no matter if there's a mistake or anything. So it gets a lot more intense, and falls could very well devastate a team in the latter part of the season and moving into postseason. So
Casey Cunningham's just ended the floor routine for Michigan. Jacob Moore is on deck. Now let's go to the rings right now with Yanni Karopoulos. There's a replay
So
right
that
there.
back 2.5 dismount, slight step forward.
Good performance.
Based on that dismount was pretty good. Pretty good. Yep. Well held. So we got a little pulled in on that swing to handstand there, so that will be a deduction. You're looking for that perfectly held, solid handstand position on rings. Gearing up for that dismount. Over rotated that dismount, and that will be a fall for Nebraska.
How many points does that usually deduct?
So you can have, if you don't fall, you can have a max of 1 point off in step deductions or hops or anything. So that will be a 1 point deduction for Nebraska. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he did touch his hand. So Michael Fletcher finishing up his horse routine. Got a little stuck on that dismount. So that will be, anytime your legs hit on a handstand dismount on horse and they come down, that is a major deduction, potentially not credit for the element.
Jacob Moore so far looks good with the stick that landed.
Yeah, really big, powerful tumbler for Jacob Moore. He's moving into his non-acro elements, doing a little bit of pommel horse on the floor with those Russian swings. Little side transition pass with a layout. A little bit simpler, but gets the job done. Now Moore getting ready for his dismount. And a solid triple full dismount. That was very well landed, very well executed. That's going to be a very good score for Michigan on floor. And see that really good height and just opened up out of that twist right to that perfect landing position.
Right now on the rings for Nebraska Cornhuskers, we got Dylan Young, who scored 13 points his last time.
Little hiccup in that giant. Then he brought it back on that giant with a solid handstand position. Now looking to finish up his routine with a nice dismount. You can see he was a little under-rotated and his chest was down. So the judges will deduct for the step as well as your chest being down. You want to see a landing with the chest up and facing directly in front of you.
Next up for Michigan is Paul Judah.
So it should be a very
Encore performance right now.
yeah, very exciting routine for Michigan coming up.
Right now, the two Michigan athletes so far have scored both in the 13s, lower 13s. Illinois so far, they've had a 10, a 12, and a 13 on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, on the pommel horse.
Yeah, and Illinois will definitely be looking to drop that 10. I think we caught a quick clip of Tony Estrada finishing up his routine, doing that Russian type dismount. And with those types of dismounts, you want to see a really big rise in height at the end, and he was able to achieve that.
Replay going right there. Got it, could have just stuck it.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Oh yeah. Paul starting off with a massive front handspring, the front double pike. Paul's another one of those powerful and exciting tumblers. And so you're going to see a lot of the combination passes out of the athletes today on the floor. And depending on the value of the skills they do, you actually do get some bonus tenths. Now, Paul moving into his
Swiss Army knife.
Oh yeah, one of his touches are his flare elements. So you can see that on the floor when you're doing those circles with the legs apart. Those just a nice little flare he's got, and he does that on his horse routine too. So Paul's got his own unique aspect to his gymnastics, and he was part of just finishing up his routine.
I feel like on the floor with women is like a big part that separates people's personality. Do you think aggressiveness is something that separates men on the floor?
I'd say the aggressiveness and just the aggressiveness and your power you got going into your routines. Yeah, you can, when a guy's going out there and they're tumbling big and they're sticking, like that kind of makes a statement.
Here's Nebraska's Kurtopoulos on the rings. Right now on the horse, Illinois has 49.75. There's still one or two people left, so that's not set in stone.
Yeah, they should have two more routines, one more that will count for their routine score. So we have a score for Tommy Estrada at 13.55 on the pommel horse, which is very solid for Tommy.
Cameron Brock's trying to get ready for the Michigan Wolverines, but there is a short delay.
And up next for the Illini on pommel horse is Ian Skirky. So this should be a very exciting routine to watch. Again, you want to look for, he has some very difficult elements in this routine, as well as his extension in his swing. He's a very good pommel horse swinger, so I know he's looking to put up a really big score.
Has he worked on anything specifically in practice recently?
He's been messing around with changing up the end of his routine to make it a little bit more efficient, but overall he's pretty much got the same routine since the beginning of season. So
he's not broke, don't fix it. He's the hottest one in the lineup.
Yep. The beautiful one pommel Russian flop. Now that's a very good save on that's called a reverse stock lay element where he goes on the one arm, and that's extremely difficult. He was slightly off balance, but was able to bring it back. He's trying to save, got a little caught up on that Magyar, and he's getting a little caught up on the Savata, but he's still fighting through, so hopefully he's got enough left for this dismount that he can finish it up. And he was able to finish the routine without falling, but...
Was there enough height throughout, you think?
Definitely a little height. There was pretty good extension, but he did get pulled in a lot, and he is going to incur a lot of deductions on, especially those last three skills he did. So not the hit he was looking for. He can do that a lot better, but still not too bad.
Here's Heinsohn for Nebraska. 13.38. He's the second highest scorer on Nebraska in this category.
A solid dismount. Another good ring score.
So that finished it off for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Michigan Wolverines still have one person left. They will have Wooden go after the Michigan Wolverines. Adam Wooden. So Illinois, Nebraska finished up. They're just waiting for Michigan to finish up theirs. Score so far for Illinois, 63.4 on the horse.
Yeah, it's definitely not the score they're looking for. And looking to replace that they're currently counting a 10-5, so they're definitely looking to replace that with Ian Skirky's routine.
They averaged 64.48 on the season. So if they didn't do so well on the horse, like if you're the coach, you're like, all right, this area you just got to knock it out of the park, like make up the margin.
Yeah.
So which area do you think Illinois could run up the score?
Oh, so Illinois has a very good rings team. I believe Illinois is ranked third in the nation on rings, so rings is definitely an event that they can make some ground up on. And it's on the remaining events, it's just being aggressive and trying to hit their routines and hit them well, and hit them clean.
Cameron Bach just finished with a 14.2 in his floor performance.
Adam Wood is so far doing a very good floor routine. And he should be getting ready for his dismount here. We're going to finish up a pretty solid routine with the stick. And he does it.
He stuck it.
And he stuck it cold. Yeah. So Michigan.
His eyes just widened.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa.
He's definitely, yeah, Michigan finished up a solid floor rotation. So that's the way you got to do it. You got to look for those sticks because on every event except for horse, you get a 1/10 bonus for a stick. So you can make up points just from whether you take a step or you stick. So you want to look for that on every single routine.
Michigan, before that score even is counted, already broken 68 on the floor. That performance will probably wipe out the bottom score.
Yeah, right now they're counting at 13-3-5, so I believe Wooden
Probably bump that up at least a point.
Yeah, he should go at minimum at minimum high 13s, possibly even break 14 margin.
So Michigan done with the floor, so Nebraska's going to take over the floor. Illinois is going to take on the rings, which they rank third in the nation in, and Michigan's going to move to the pommel horse. We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back to Huff Hall. They just made their transitions. Nebraska's on the floor, Michigan on the pommel horse, Illinois on the rings. Yeah, I think this is an area where Illinois can make up some ground, right?
Yes, definitely. Illinois has a very strong rings routine, so I know they're looking to be aggressive, hit those strength positions, and try and make up some tenths because they did not have the pommel horse rotation they were looking for. So Ian Skripke's score did come in with a 13.4, so Illinois finished on horse with 66.3. So definitely that was a 3-point improvement over their earlier pommel horse score. So not as bad. I believe they're actually tied with Nebraska on the pommel horse. And then Adam Wooden's floor score came in with a 14.6, so he is currently today's leader on floors, pending Nebraska's rotation. Michigan finished with a 69.85. So Illinois beating Michigan on floor by about 4.5 tenths. So, and Nebraska finished on rings with a 62.7.
What do you think of that score?
So definitely not a score they were looking for. So they, counting some pretty low scores in there from some of those falls they had in their dismounts, and 62.7 is not something they were looking for. So Nebraska's gonna have to make up some ground on floor, which they do have a very solid floor team. So they definitely can do it.
If you just look at some quick math on the pommel horse, Nebraska scored a 66. Illinois scored a 66.
Yeah, they both scored 66.3.
So right now, if you're Illinois, you're thinking, hey, maybe we're on track to knock off Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're
kind of on pace. Michigan looks really good today. I will say that.
Yes, they do.
Sharp.
Yeah, we'll see how Michigan does on pommel horse. Illinois is up to is beating a 69.2 on rings is going to be tough for Illinois. You know, even with their pretty solid rings team, but they do have the potential to do that. And Michigan's looking to go out and be clean, be solid, and hit all their horse routines.
What does Michigan eat? I mean, like, basketball team gone 3 weeks, they win the rest of their games, doesn't matter. Gymnastics, they've had one virtual meet, and they're
No, it's impressive. It's impressive. Two weeks off of any athletic training, but in particular gymnastics, where it's so hard to come back when you haven't been training like almost every day. So it's very impressive for Michigan.
hail to the victors. Here's David Willett for the Michigan Wolverines, going to kick it off on the pommel horse. On the horse, Michigan ranks 3rd in the nation in this event.
Pretty solid flop elements. So now he's moving in to his travel sequences. We got Logan Myers on the rings for Illinois. Logan's been a rock-solid freshman for the Illinois this season.
Charlie Giles is there on the floor, if you can see right there.
A little wobble in that handstand. You want to look for a nice, solid, smooth press up to handstand on that element, so judges will deduct for that. Very nice tumbling sequence.
Now, this is an event Nebraska's very good at. Number 2 ranking. You think this is an area maybe where they can start picking up some steam?
Oh, of course. They will definitely, they gotta bring back the momentum, should try and shift it in their favor after that rings rotation, and Cooper was able to, I believe that was Charlie, actually.
That was Charlie.
That was Charlie.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're both brothers, but Charlie was able to finish up that routine with a solid stick. Slight chest down on that landing, but he will still get that 10th back in bonus, and that was the routine Nebraska needed to start off that rotation. We're trying to shift that momentum back in their favor, because momentum in all sports, nobody really knows what it is, but it somehow is a thing. And it's
confidence.
It's that confidence, it's that swagger, it's going up there and crushing your team. So,
how much scoreboard watching is there in gymnastics? Can you even worry about other teams?
So we try not to watch the scoreboards.
It's so hard not to, though.
It's hard not to. But the unique thing about gymnastics is you have no control over what the other team's doing.
Right.
You're not playing against them directly, so
can't set booby traps.
Exactly. So you gotta go up there and you gotta just do your thing, do the best you can, and try and not worry about the other team.
Here's Fletcher's season high of 13.3. Out of the lineup of Illinois, that's actually the lowest of the season highs of the starters today.
Fletcher getting ready for his solid stuck dismount from Michael Fletcher.
That was a good stick.
Outstanding routine for them. And again,
I don't think it's the lowest scoring anymore.
and again, going back to the momentum that Illinois is also looking to try and pick up some steam going into the ring. So that was the start they needed from Fletcher.
There's Nebraska's Mueller. This is his second straight event. Is it ever a problem in gymnastics where a gymnast gets hasty, like he just tries to go too fast, gets too aggressive?
All the time. As you want to be aggressive, but at the same time you don't want to get ahead of yourself.
Right.
Because if you start thinking about that skill, you got 3, 4 skills down the line. You can mess up your head, mess up your rhythm, and it can cause mistakes. So a key in gymnastics is just staying patient, staying focused, and just staying in the moment on where you're at in your routine.
There's a replay of Justin Murphy's performance on the horse. Now on the rings, Illinois is putting up Jordan Kovac. Kobach.
Yeah, Jordan's been a solid all-rounder for the Illinois throughout his 4 years. So
He's pushing 14. He wants that 14.
oh yeah, he does, and it's his senior night too. So his first event of the day. I know he's looking to start off pretty strong.
I was thinking about that senior night. Like, what's it like, do you think, just having cardboard boxes watching you, parents? Like, could you imagine that? Like, did you ever compete in a world of COVID?
So my season ended. My season ended last year. So it ended right when everything got shut down due to COVID.
You're fucking worse.
Well, so my last competition was actually my senior night, and it was here against Penn State and Michigan, I believe, and that was still in person before they shut everything down. Little did we know that that was going to be the last meet of my and my teammates' careers, but when you're going into your senior night, it's the last time these guys are going to be competing at Huff Hall, and just this building just has an aura and energy about it, and it's something that you don't realize you love and you're going to miss until your senior year.
Yeah.
After you've been competing in it for 4 years, and I know today's a very nostalgic day for these guys, and all the seniors are going to be looking just to put up their best performances in their last time at Huff.
It's just nice that this world was able to come together and at least give some sports. I mean, imagine the past 12 months there was no athletics.
Oh, I know, and I know it was hard on all of these athletes, just just itching to get up and moving and doing the sports that they love. So the fact that they're able to get back in it and be able to compete is it's really good.
Here's Sam Phillips on the floor right now. One of the highest performing Nebraska people on the floor, 14.4. This guy knows what he's doing.
Yes, Sam is outstanding at the floor exercise. Yeah. Sam finishing up a solid routine. I know he wanted that stick, but overall, that was still a great routine for Nebraska on the floor. We got some scores coming in for on rings. Logan Myers putting up a 13.35, and Michael Fletcher a 13.25 for the Illini. And for Michigan on the pommel horse, David Willett putting up 12.9, and Justin Murphy with a 12.65.
The horse is tough. You can just tell the scores. They get stuck in the 12.
There's a reason why horse is one of the lowest scoring events in men's gymnastics. It's tough and it's unforgiving.
Yeah.
You're slightly off balance. You may not fall, but you're gonna have a pretty big deduction, and it's hard to find just solid dominant horse guys. And any team that can successfully go and put up 5 solid hit routines on the horse is one of the best in the nation. Hamish Carter finishing up his rings routine right there.
A little jump forward, but not that big of a deal, you think?
Yeah. Should be, from my angle, it looks around like a 310 pop, but still overall a great dismount for him.
Here's Paul Judah, third straight event.
Yeah, Paul Judah, wow. Paul Judah has that unique twist on horse with his flare elements. Now flaring on pommel horse doesn't necessarily upgrade the difficulty of the routine, but one, it just gives you that wow factor.
Look how much height he's getting too. I mean, he's not even flirting with.
Oh God, no, not at all. He just flew right up into that handstand and finished up that routine. But those flares, man, they look amazing, and another thing is that they help eliminate some of those deductions that are common with normal circles when you guys keep their legs together. So Paul with a great routine, and see Hamish's dismount right there. Again, a little hop forward, but still overall pretty solid.
There's Dylan Young right now on the floor, flying all around.
Very solid pass for Young.
Now, Young did not compete last week. He's new to the lineup, so obviously he did something right in practice.
Oh yeah, he was able to. I'm assuming he was able to work himself in the lineup, and you know, anytime you're not in the lineup and then you break in, you know, you just want to go out there and you want to prove to your team and you want to prove to your coaches why you belong in the lineup and why you
Prove you're the replacement too.
exactly exactly. Joel, another senior, finishing up his routine. Again, slightly under-rotated on that dismount with the hop forward and chest up, but overall, pretty good finish for Joel. Now we got Cameron Bach on the pommel horse. Cameron's a very solid horse worker. Little, pretty big split on that previous skill, but he's able to bring it back, and looking to finish up this routine. A very nice finish on that handstand dismount, so. A little choppy, but I know Cameron will be pretty pleased with that one.
So far, am I wrong, but it looks like Michigan has outperformed Nebraska on the pommel horse. I would say so. I honestly, I'd say they're about even. Yeah.
They've been about the same. Michigan is pretty solid on pommel horse, but
Paul Judah got a 14.2.
yeah, and that's so far the highest score of the day.
Well, how much height he was going to have, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, and like I was saying, when you do those flares, it's so hard for the judges to find those deductions and take off. Even if they're there, it's just the way it looks and the way it makes it pretty tough to judge. But still, Paul Judah, just a absolutely great routine for him. So yeah, he's the current leader on horse, pending box score, and I believe Michigan still has one or two more guys on the horse.
There's a fall right there by Topless. That's pretty rare, with scoring a 14.3 last time.
Yeah, definitely not the start he wanted on that pass. Just slightly under-rotated on that double front, but so far bringing it back pretty good on the rest of this routine. And that's the key, is anytime you have a big mistake, a fall or a large deduction, is you got to finish your routine strong.
Yeah.
And you can't let that get to your head. Because some guys, you know, if they fall, they'll get upset, and they'll either fall again or keep making mistakes, and you can't do that because these routines still count. And then once you get to the 5 up, 5 count season, everything counts. So,
How did you cope with failure as a gymnast?
it was one of the most frustrating things, falling, you know, and just knowing that, like, oh man, I know I can do this, and you make the mistake. And the key is just, if you have more routines that day, is not letting it get to you, and just moving on, and using that anger and frustration on that fall to fuel you for the next routine. And failure moving forward, you just you gotta learn from it. Every failure is a learning lesson, and a lot of these guys take those learning lessons into the gym the next week and work on ironing out those mistakes. Now, Danny Graham, just absolutely solid dismount. Danny's
He's a senior.
He's a senior, and he's just a rock star for Illinois on the rings. He's one of their best guys, and I believe he's currently ranked 3rd in the nation on rings.
So statistically, he is the best athlete in Illinois on the rings. 14.2. He's definitely going to replace one of the lowest scores.
And Danny's just an insanely strong guy, and that anchor for the Illinois rings lineup. So I know Danny will be very happy with that rings routine.
Nebraska has one more athlete left on the floor, Jake Bonnier. He's a pretty good performer, 14.5 is a recent score. So back-to-back Nebraska they have back-to-back athletes that have a history of 14. I'm not sure if Topless is going to score a 14 with the fall.
No, he actually, his score just came in with he had a 13.115, which for a fall is very impressive, yeah. So that's the key, is finishing your routines well to still get a pretty decent score. Now, Jake today is very good on the floor exercise.
But if you're Nebraska, you're thinking, we're going to get a 14 for Topless.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a setback. That could be the difference between a Nebraska victory and a defeat.
Yeah, so Jake's coming out here and trying to pick up after that fall and put up a very solid quarter team, which he's so far doing very well. Pretty good stick on that.
Yeah, I've been seeing that.
Yeah.
The sticks so far have been very impressive.
Yeah, just solid in his landings. No movement, no shaking, and he's just gearing up for that dismount, and I know he wants that stick. Almost had it, but still, Jake Benet with an outstanding quarter team for Nebraska. So that's definitely going to score well and make up for that fall they had in the previous routine.
Good performance. We'll wait up for a couple scores to get updated. As of now, Michigan is the leader. They've broken 207. Illinois is behind them at 202. Nebraska's still below 200, and they probably still will be even after they recalculate and get the score of the last athlete, Jake Bonnet.
Yeah, Illinois is still waiting on Danny Graham's score.
So we're halfway done with the meet. What are some takeaways so far?
Well, first things first is just Michigan does not look like they've had 2 weeks off.
No, they're good.
I can tell you right now, they're a very good team. They've had a few mistakes here and there, but still they're solid today. And Illinois, they're doing their jobs. You know, they're having a better meet than last weekend in Iowa, but it's going to take a little bit more. It's going to take a lot more to beat Michigan and Nebraska as well. Nebraska having a few mistakes here and there, but they're also looking pretty solid. So I think going into the back three, it's just a matter of continuing each team's momentum.
In a way, it's nitpicking. I mean, these are all top 7 programs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're all scholarship, great athletes.
Yeah.
Just who wins at the margins, who does what they do a little bit better.
And Michigan just needs that, exactly. Michigan needs to keep doing what they're doing, and they're gonna keep cruising along. And Illinois and Nebraska are gonna need some big routines and some really big routines.
Michigan on the horse scored 67.2, outperformed Nebraska on the horse. So Michigan, they're on track for a pretty good day.
Yeah, 67 on the pommel horse is a very good team score on the horse.
Illinois scored 66.3. So
Yeah.
Illinois is on par with Nebraska.
Yep. Yeah, and Danny Graham's score coming in at 13.95. So not the score he was looking for. He usually likes those low mid 14s, but still a pretty solid rings rotation for the Illini.
Halfway done, Michigan's in the lead by 4 points right now. Nebraska still trying to crack 200. We'll be back after a quick transition. Welcome back to Huff Hall. Michigan's on top right now in Champaign, but Illinois is on their tail, only 4 points behind, while Nebraska's trailing the Wolverines by over 8 points. Next up for the teams, Illinois is going to try it out on the vault. Nebraska is going to move over to the bars, while the Michigan Wolverines will be moving over to the high bar.
Yeah, and vault is that high impact, high intensity, high scoring rotation. So Illinois should put up a pretty high team score here. And now, what's going to be exciting is going to be watching Michigan on high bar. On high bar, that's when we see those really big and exciting release elements, and Michigan will definitely be putting up a lot of those. And now Nebraska is looking to really try and get back in this meet with a solid rotation on the parallel bars. So we'll see what they're able to put up here.
Michigan Wolverines are kicking it off with Adam Wooden. Logan Myers is going to start first on the vault.
Oh, and he almost had the stick.
You almost thought what he almost said on right a little.
Oh yeah, you saw that little foot movement on that landing, but still it's going to score very well from Logan. This is Wooden on high bar for Michigan. Now Williams gearing up for his dismount. See if he can put out the stick. Oh, on a slight.
I thought he had it for a second.
He almost did,
Sure
did, but solid routine from Wooden.
Here's Dylan LeClaire on the parallel bars. 13.6 was a recent performance. He's middle of the pack compared to the other Nebraska athletes when it comes to this.
Yeah, they're looking for a solid, and he
That was good.
sticks that double pike dismount, and that's what Nebraska's looking for to try to get back into this knee or our solid routines with those sticks, because again, you get that bonus, and that's how you get back into these meets.
Yeah. It's a good start so far.
Then we got Josh Cook, the line vault.
Now this is the first time he's scoring on this event this season.
Yep. I know he's excited to get back in this lineup, and pretty solid vault for Josh Cook.
So much acceleration.
Oh yeah.
Speedy.
Yep. And now what you're going to see today on vault, there's three main types of entries into a vault. There's the round-off entry, and then there's the Yurchenko entry, which is where the guys do a tumbling before they get onto the vault table. And then there's the front handspring entry. So
Michigan Wolverines are looking to restart on the high bar. But here's a replay of the past performer.
and again,
So close.
oh yeah.
We missed that on the left corner. That was Illinois' Jordan Kovac.
Oh,
No, not Connor McCool.
Yep. Yeah, kind of will be good vault. And on high bar,
Yeah, Illinois on the vault, very good. I mean, a lot of 14-point performers.
yeah. And here you can see kind of a cool vault. A little sideways on that entry onto the table, which is a deduction. You want to be straight up and down aligned through a handstand on the entry, so it kind of will lose some tense for that, but pretty solid vault. And now we got Max Diab on vault. So you can see Max traveling a little sideways. He did do the more difficult vault, so that was a 2.5 twisting vault. But he did travel a little sideways, and he landed out of bounds, which is a deduction. Yeah, looking to come back after that fall on high bar after his release move. See if he can finish up a pretty solid routine. And that's how you gotta finish your routine.
That looked awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. When you falling is, of course, not what you're looking for, but he was able to get up, finish the routine solid, and earn back some tense with that stick.
Evan Crowley right now on the parallel bars. Almost couldn't quite stick it.
Yeah, and he had that little step back out after that hop, after that dismount before he saluted. So
Finally this is Hamish Carter on the vault, 14.25 last time.
and here you'll see the Yurchenko entry for Hamish into the vault. It's just an absolutely beautiful vault.
I know you hate being a judge, but does that break the 14?
Oh yeah, that'll bring a 14. Yeah, I know he took a little extra step on that landing, but that'll break a 14.
Vault just goes by quick. I mean, Illinois is almost done with the vault, and
Yeah, vault's the quickest rotation. It's quick to judge, and then it's only about a 10-second long routine you're doing, so it goes by very quick. P-bars on the other hand is one of the event that usually takes a little bit longer. You can see Hamish's Yurchenko double twist. Just absolutely beautiful in the air, great pre-flight, and some 2 small steps on that landing. I know he was trying to fight for that stick, but again, overall, very good. Now we got Evan Manenbaum on the vault. Now, Evan's just a rock star on vault for the Illini. I know he's looking for that stick, but again, doing that 2.5 twisting vault, you'll get that higher difficulty, the slight hop forward, and that's going to score very well for Evan.
Here's Thomas Paul from the Michigan Wolverines.
Got a quite unique start for Paul on the high bar, starting in that L grip.
Adam Wooten scored a 13.3 on his performance on the high bar.
Yeah, it's a very solid start for Michigan on the event.
Out of the last 3 events, which one's the kind of like the closest to the pommel horse with the highest to score? I mean, the hardest to score.
I would say high bar. High bar.
Yeah.
You can put up some very big scores on high bar, but the tough part about high bar are those release elements, which
Is it hit or miss sometimes?
oh yeah, definitely. Judah getting on, finishing up a very solid high bar routine.
There's Mitch Tyndall trying to hold his balance up in the air.
Slight little hand
That
up.
looked awkward a little.
Yeah, missed his hand slightly there, and that caused him to miss that handstand position, which is a pretty major deduction. Finishing up with front double front dismount with some pretty big hops at the end, but was able to keep it on his feet.
He's getting some high fives, but he's probably not as happy with that performance.
No, not at all.
So Michigan's got Jacob Moore left, and still Paul Judah, Cameron Bach. Those people are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
They always kind of finish it out. They're kind of the anchors.
Oh yeah. No, they're just absolutely solid for Michigan. And a correction, I believe this is Thomas Paul, not, I believe I said it was Paul Judah, but this is Thomas Paul. That was my mistake.
I bet he'd take it as a compliment if you call him that, though.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you're Brad Pitt? And no, I'm not, but...
Got the Jacob Moore now on the high bar. Yeah, so Illinois finished up vaults with a 71.25. Their high of the day, Evan Manavon going 14.65. So
You called it. You said it's the best one you said before.
yeah, even without that stick, it's just how clean he is in the air. So I got a straddle the cock shift there for Jacob Moore. And with those release elements, you want to see the height in it, and you also want to see that arm extension on the catch and the giant out. And so far, I was doing a very good high bar routine to just
They're sticking it.
absolutely stuck dismount. So Jacob Moore's having a very good day today.
So while Michigan waits to release their dynamic duo, Paul Judah and Cameron Brock, Nebraska is going to have Dylan Young go on the parallel bars. Dylan Young, he's been okay on the bar so far, 12.5 this year. It's one of his most recent scores.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to bring it back after Mitch Tyndall's previous routine. Yeah, his score came in at 11.4.
This is Nebraska's worst event out of any of them. They ranked 7th nationally in it. Every other one's in the top 5.
Yeah, and Nebraska's goal on this rotation is to, again, just put up solid, clean routines, because they're not going to make up any sense, but they don't want to give them away. So Dylan Young looking to finish up this routine. So far, very clean. And just a slight step on that dismount, but overall, that's a very good routine for Dylan Young.
You know, you can't be surprised by Michigan's performance with a high bar. #1 nationally. They just all do the exact same thing. They all stick the landing.
Yeah, and that's how you can distinguish the good teams from the great teams. Are one of those things is sticks, because that's how you make up tenths. You earn those bonus points and you eliminate landing deductions. So I got a big release move from Paul Judah. That's the Kovacs type element, that double flip over the bar. It's a beautiful laid out to cock shift for him. And so far, so good for Paul Judah. One of the trickiest parts of the high bar routine are those release elements because they're worth a lot in difficulty, but if you miss the bar, it's well, it's a fall, you know. So Paul made it through that release sequence. Now he's finishing up his routine and getting ready for this dismount. And just again, another stick for Michigan. Oh yeah. That's the name of the game.
Michigan's really putting together a great performance here in Champaign.
You can say just a really good dismount for Paul Judah. And he and Michigan are going to be very happy with that routine. And so far, so good for Michigan on high bar.
Evan Hymenson's getting ready for the parallel bar. Pretty good so far this year. 13.45 is a recent score. Next up for Nebraska is the two events that both top 5 in. So those are probably going to be the two events they want to really just pound the fundamentals and try to get back into this.
Oh yeah.
Because right now it's going to be tough for them to catch up to Michigan.
Yes, it definitely will be. They just need to finish up their parallel bars rotation solid, and then move into their remaining two events that they're just very good at and try and make up the difference. Just a beautiful, now that element's called a Bobzar. That was just very well done. Some slight steps in that handstand. She was a little bit loose on, but then was able to come back and do his next skill very well. Again, Evan is just packing in the difficulty with this routine, trying to finish up that set with a pretty good dismount. So
he's one of the better Nebraska athletes on that event.
Yes, that was a very solid routine for Evan Hymanson.
Last but not least, from the Michigan Wolverines, Cameron Bach. $20 she sticks to land. There's no way he does it.
I'll take that. I'll take that bet.
Take it to the bank.
Bach so far just with beautiful release elements. Now doing the jam element into an Eagle Giant. Now he's getting ready to finish up his routine. Well, let's see if he can bring out that stick. There it is.
You got it. Cash or check. Great performance by all the Wolverines. Really, that might be the thing that separates them from the other two programs.
Just an absolutely solid high bar routine. And again, you can see that stick from Cameron Bach and that excitement he's got. It's just a solid routine for him.
It's cool to see that. Like, it's kind of cool seeing 6 guys just nail it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's what's so tough with gymnastics, especially in men's gymnastics, is just doing 6 solid slave routines, and Michigan was able to do that. And slight hiccup there. We're looking to bring it back on this P-bar routine.
This is Dylan King's first event on the day. He's going to perform in the next high bar, but he's got some pressure on him.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the key for King, for Dylan now is just have a good solid dismount. There you go.
Very nice.
It's definitely, he was missed some of his handstands and missed his hand on one of his elements earlier, which will he will have some pretty large deductions on that, but he was able to finish up the routine pretty strong.
I'm a sucker for recency bias, so when I see him stick it at the end, I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, and that's you gotta finish a routine with some mistakes with a stick. You don't want to give away any more that you have to, and he was able to do that. So not going to score the best for him, but still pretty decent finish.
Michigan, despite Illinois being on the vault, still has the lead. They lead 276 to 275 against Illinois. We're going to get Nebraska's score calculated, but they're still behind at 262.
Yeah, we are waiting on Cameron Bach's high bar score, as well as Dylan King's key bar score.
So Michigan going to the vault. Illinois is going to head over to the parallel bars, and Nebraska's heading over to the high bars. Parallel bars has been a struggle for Illinois compared to the other programs, ranked 8th nationally. Nebraska's 3rd in that department. Michigan's number 1 in that area. No, actually number 2. My bad. Michigan's number 2 in the nation in parallel bars. So this is a big step for Illinois. If you want to knock off Nebraska, keep within striking distance of the Wolverines. You need to do good in this event.
Oh yes, yeah. Illinois needs
It's part of the X
very
factor.
good and a solid key-bar rotation, and they have the skill level and they have the talent to do that. It's just a matter of execution. So I'm excited to see how they perform on parallel bars today. And now with Michigan on vault, again, Michigan just needs to keep doing what they're doing, and that's putting up just solid routines across the board. And if they keep doing that, then they're gonna walk away from this meet with a victory. And Nebraska's looking to move the high bar, and again, just try and bring back some momentum going into the last two. Yeah, they finished. So we got those scores now. Nebraska finished on key bars with a 64.1.
What did Michigan finish with on high?
And Michigan finished, I believe, Michigan with a 67.05, which is a very good high bar score for Michigan. Then Cameron Bach with the 13.65, and I believe Dylan King with the 12.1 on parallel bars. So
Nebraska's very good. Every single one of their performers, besides Griffin Keeler, has scored at least a 13.5. They are all exact same scores. So we'll probably see something pretty similar to what we saw with Michigan.
Yep. And you're going to be looking for on high bar. You want to look for those exciting release moves and looking for those sticks.
Michigan's in striking distance of getting a tri-meet victory. We'll be right back after a quick transition. Welcome back. Michigan's about to start off on the vault. The Michigan Wolverines are throwing up Javier Alfonso right off the bat. For Michigan, this is their worst event, quotation marks. They are 9th nationally.
Yeah, vault's still just a very high scoring rotation. Event.
It's only the second time they're doing this all year.
Oh yeah,
second time with the vault.
Yeah,
with every event. It's only
honestly,
the second time.
it's hard to tell it's only their second time, but Javier Alonso there with a very solid double twisting vault. Now, first up for the Illini on parallel bars is Logan Myers. So far, Logan is doing a very well executed routine. Some great underbar work here. Now we're back on, we're over on high bar.
Now we're over at high bar with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And this is Griffin Keeler. This is his first time scoring with this event.
Going through his release sequence there. Very good releases, a little short on that half turn, but was able to muscle through it. Now gearing up for that dismount. Slight hop on that landing, but overall very, very solid routine for Griffin.
The newest addition to the 3rd ranked high bar program in the land. Yeah, it's crazy. Everybody else in Nebraska, like, Michigan did a great job. They still, I think there was a few 12s. I mean, everybody in Nebraska, 13.3, 13.3, 13.5. This might be the area of where they make up some space.
Yeah, and that's consistency across the board.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for out of your lineup.
There's another Michigan Wolverine on the vault, Miles Miller.
Kevin, just a huge Yurchenko 2.5 for Nick Guy. Catching a replay of Logan Myers dismount here, the front double tuck was slightly short on that landing and wasn't able to keep himself on his feet. So that's a tough fall for the Illini. So they will be looking for
A replacement.
Exactly, to replace that. So these next 5 guys for Illinois have to go up and hit some pretty solid routines.
This is Sebastian's first time in the lineup.
Yes, this is Sebastian Betty's first time competing for the Illini this season.
You want to beat the Cornhuskers? Don't mess up. That's pretty much, that's his message.
Yep, and he's so far just doing a very solid routine. You know, Betty has been putting a lot of work into the gym, so it's very excited to see him in lineup for the first time this season, and I know he's excited to have the opportunity and make a statement.
What made Coach put him in the lineup? What did he do?
It's been his work ethic the last few weeks, just Betty finishing up that routine, very solid routine for Betty. But it's been his work ethic and the amount of time he's been putting in on the little things and trying to work out the deductions he has, and he was finally has been having some very good weeks past few weeks in the gym, and he was able to work himself in the lineup.
There's a replay right there.
Slightly short. Yeah, pretty short on that Yurchenko double full.
And Kurtopoulos just made a mistake on the high bar right there. Event where that doesn't happen that often.
No. So he'll be looking up to get back up here and finish up this routine strong. And same thing for Nebraska as with Illinois. They want to get back to this meet. The remaining routines, they're going to have to put up some pretty solid routines, and they're going to try and not count this ball. Now we got Judah on the vault with 2.5 twisting vault.
That's probably,
Very solidly done.
out of all of his events though, how would you rate that compared to his other performances? You know what I mean? That's probably like,
they're all for Paul. They're all good.
Yeah.
He's good at everything. You know. But yeah, Paul doing a very good vault there. Pretty big hop forward, but that's still going to score very well.
Cameron Box left for the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan right now, the score looks inflated. They're at 331, but that's just because the vault's you're able to score it faster, and they're just ahead of the
That's right.
Illinois.
Now we got senior Danny Graham on P-bars, and I know Danny's been itching to get back into the P-bar lineup, so he's pretty excited to be competing. Cameron Bach, I believe he was able to keep his butt off the ground on that vault, but still, he's going to get a lot of landing deductions, and as you can see, Danny a little sideways off balance on that P-bar routine, so not the routine Illinois is looking for, and Danny is, if Illinois is going to want to stay in this meet, Danny's going to have to finish up this routine and try to put up the best score possible, because now they're definitely going to have to be counting a fall.
There's Jake Bonnier trying to pick up the steam for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Yeah, and again, Jake Benet's got to put up a great routine here. Nebraska wants to get back into it. Very, very cool release combination there from the Yamawaki into the Ginger. You don't see a lot of guys do that anymore, but Jake Benet does some very unique release elements on high bar. And so far, so good. Now Jake looking to finish up this pretty good routine. Hopefully cap it off with a stick. And he's able to do it.
He got it.
Yep. Yep. And that's the high bar routine Nebraska needed. You can see how happy he is with that one. That was
He's the gold standard so far for
Yeah.
the Cornhuskers.
to the end of Danny Graham's routine right there.
Pretty good, but a little hot.
Yeah, a little hop on that dismount, and I mean he had that fall in the middle of that routine. So Illinois is going to really need to come back strong on these remaining routines. Again, you can see that's just preparation for that landing. He just knew right from the get-go he was going to stick it, and he did it.
Kovacs up next for the Illinois Fighting Illini. Looking ahead to the next event, Illinois, so they're going to be at the high bar. How are they in the high bar? Do you think that's an area where they can hold their own?
Yeah, so high bar for the Illini is it's definitely not one of their strong events. They don't quite have the difficulty or the start value when compared to the other teams in the country. So yeah, Illinois takes the approach of slightly less difficult routines in the hope of increased execution. So if Illinois can do that and put up just solid scores on high bar, then they will definitely still be in contention to overtake Michigan. Excellent peach work from Jordan.
Did he get enough height on that?
From this angle, I believe so. He may have been a little low, because you on a skill like that, which is called a Suarez, you want to get sufficient height and rotation before you make contact to go with parallel bars, which he was able to, may have been a little low, but still very good. And Jordan was able to finish up that routine solid, so.
That's pretty good performance.
Yes,
I'd say.
yeah, very good parallel bar routine for Kovacs.
There's Evan Hymanson, highest scoring Nebraska Cornhusker with a 13.5 on the high bar.
Yeah, and you can just see in the aggressiveness and how good those release elements are that Hymanson is just absolutely solid on high bar. Very intricate in-bar work there. And again, Nebraska with the stick. Evan Hymanson putting it down.
We're starting to pick up the pace.
Oh yeah, and this is exactly what Nebraska needs to do to get back into the game.
The one thing is that with Nebraska's next event being the fall, we're going to know what their final score is before the other ones.
Exactly.
So Illinois is going to kind of have an idea of, all right, like this is what we need if we want to knock out the Cornhuskers.
And you also have to keep in mind that vault is usually the highest scoring event.
Yeah.
So Nebraska is, after high bar, is going to be moving against the highest scoring event, and they'll know.
It's like the mail-in votes, you know. It's like, and they start adding up.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, Nebraska is getting it done on high bar after they started off with that fall there.
I was surprised. It started off a little rough, I'd say, for a couple.
Started off rough, but then the rest of the guys in their lineup just really brought it back.
No, I agree.
Really brought it back and are doing what they need to do to put themselves back into this meet. And now Hamish this is going to be a very, very exciting routine for the Illini. Hamish is a rock star on the parallel bars and has some of the best handstands and lines in the country. So
What about difficulty with him?
very, pretty difficult routine for Hamish. So this is came in slightly piked and a little bent arm, and that skill is called a makuts. But very difficult element that Hamish is able to do it well. And so far, so good for Hamish. So you can just tell with his handstand line, it's absolutely solid, and he has just very good execution. Now he's looking to finish up this routine and hopefully give the Illini another stick. Slight hop backwards, but still just
Before that, it looked flawless.
very clean. very, very clean routine for Hamish Carter, so that'll score very well.
Here's Dylan King for Nebraska.
Now Dylan's just gotta keep the momentum going for Nebraska. Just gotta keep these good routines rolling and put Nebraska back in it. Well, let's see if he can do it with this dismount. So far, so good on the rest of the routine. And he is. There it is.
Very nice.
And again, another stick for Nebraska on a high bar after a very solidly hit routine. So Nebraska got the job done on high bar. And like you were saying, they started out a little rough on the event, but they were able to bring it back and not only stick, but then hit just solid routines. And that's what they needed to do going into vault.
So if you're Fletcher right now, what kind of score do you think he needs?
I know Fletcher's shooting for he wants a 14 at least.
Yeah.
You know, anything in the 14s is what he wants and is what Illinois needs right now. Because they have two of their routines that they have falls, and they're gonna have to end up counting one of those. So Fletcher's gonna need a really big score here to put Illinois back in it. And Hamish came in with a 14.0 on parallel bars. So that's
very well needed for Illinois.
Exactly, that's that big score they needed. So Fletcher's looking to do the same. He's just slightly outside on that Diamondon element, and his balance was enough outside that he wasn't able to bring it back into the center of the bar and cause him to fall off. So, not what he was looking for, but so Fletcher's got to go up there and finish this routine strong. And Fletcher's another one of those guys that just has absolutely beautiful lines on parallel bars. And, he didn't have that mistake on this routine, but just his lines and his execution are very good, very good. And a solid finish for Fletcher on parallel bars.
A little bit of a hop, but still.
Yeah, and not what they were looking for with that fall, but again, a solid finish for that routine. So now we have Sam Phillips on the high bar.
Sam Phillips, the last one from Nebraska.
You can see he's a little loose in his legs throughout this routine. So pretty big leg splits, but
He didn't quite stick it like the other ones.
Yep, but it was a solid routine for Sam.
That score's probably still going to count, I'd say.
Yeah. I believe he did not fall in this routine, so that should, even though it was a little choppy in some deductions, some pretty big deductions here and there, it still will count over that, should count over that fall that they had earlier in the rotation.
So Michigan, Illinois, they've both done the vault. That's out of the way. They're down by 8 against Michigan. It's probably going to be tough to come back.
And that's vault for you. Michigan was able to put up a 71.05 on vault, and Illinois, pending Michael Fletcher's score, put up a 62.75 on the parallel bars. So not the rotation they were looking for on parallel bars.
Illinois averages
difference comes in.
That's a 2-point decrease from their season average. They're averaging 64.5.
Yeah.
So that's an area Illinois struggled in today, to say the least.
Yeah. And then I know once after this competition and Illinois gets back into the gym, they're going to be spending a lot of time on P-bars because it's already not a strong event for them, but after today's performance, when they desperately needed a strong P-bar rotation to keep them in this.
Floor was good,
a lot of work.
vault was good. I'd say the floor was good, vault was good for Illinois.
Yep.
Those are 2 events.
Yeah, their rings rotation was pretty solid, and horse they could have done better, but still horse wasn't too bad for Illinois. But again, just Michigan just
I think on the high bar, that was the most impressive thing I've seen so far today.
Yeah, Michigan just has a solid high bar lineup all across the board, and pending for Nebraska on the high bar. We're still waiting on Sam Phillips' score here, but Nebraska is sitting at a 64.4 on the high bar. So once Phillips' score comes in, we'll get the final tally on that. Because right now they are counting an 11-4, which they're looking to replace.
So right now, Illinois holds a 10-point advantage over Nebraska. Might shrink to 9 or 8. So Illinois is actually up to 339, Nebraska to 329.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Oh, sorry.
no problem. So you got a double-digit lead.
Oh yeah.
They're going to go in the vault. They're going to score. This final event, if they do well, if they do what they're supposed to do, they could probably hold off the Cornhuskers.
Yes. I believe it's around the 12-point margin between Illinois and Nebraska. That is quite a hefty margin to make up on one event, but it is possible, especially with Nebraska going in the vault and Illinois going to the high bar, which is not one of their high-scoring events, but that is definitely a lofty difference to make up.
Michigan going to parallel bars, Nebraska to the vault, Illinois to the high bar.
Yes, and this is a difficult climb for Illinois to make up against Michigan.
Down around 6 points, that's going to be a lot.
6 points and high bar again is just not Illinois' high scoring event, and Michigan is just absolutely solid on the parallel bars. So it will be tough for Illinois. Again, in the sport of gymnastics, anything's possible, but will be tough.
Anything's possible, but Michigan is ranked number 2 in the nation in parallel bars.
Yep.
So unless Michigan has a serious stumble, most likely the Wolverines are going to be able to steal a victory here in Champaign.
Yes.
After a quick transition, we'll be back with the final 3 events. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back on the high bar. LeClaire starts off well for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They're looking to make up a lot of distance with the University of Illinois.
Yeah, but on the high bar for Illinois, we have Logan Myers. So the key for Illinois with this rotation is, again, just try and be as aggressive as possible with these routines and put up the biggest scores, because trying to make up 6 points on the Michigan Wolverines is going to be a daunting task. But
at the same time, you can't just run out the clock against Nebraska. Just take a couple knees.
No. And that's the last thing Illinois wants sitting on a lead like this is to have some devastations on the high bar and end up giving it away, at least to Nebraska. And for Michigan going into this rotation, it's just hitting your routines and not having a meltdown or any large number of falls. They just gotta hit these routines and they'll finish up this meeting on top.
Yeah, Michigan number 2 in the lands in this event. I think they're thinking strictly business. Let's get out of Champaign with 2 victories.
And Khalil Jackson with the stuck vault, and that's going to score very well.
Right now, it looks like Illinois is on track to break 400. Michigan easily is going to top 400.
Yep.
And Nebraska even has a chance if they perform well in the vault. So pretty good day for all 3 programs, maybe.
Yeah. I know Illinois is not going to be too happy with that parallel bar rotation, right. And with Nebraska, their rings and their parallel bar rotations are what's kind of keeping them a little bit lower.
Yeah, Nebraska scored 407 last time out. Like, they will probably not be able to top 407. This was a down day for the Cornhuskers.
Not today. So after their competition today, they will be looking to get back in the gym and improve that ring score, improve that parallel bar score. So now we got
Sebastian Abede on the high bar. Again, this is his first time in the lineup scoring this year. That's the first time I've seen that, the one hand.
Yep, that's the one-arm giant. it's a devalued element. A lot of guys will do it as a kind of like an interim filler skill. Everybody so far doing a pretty solid routine. Now, Illinois doesn't have the highest difficulty on high bar. Like as I was saying earlier, they tend to go for the lower difficulty, but higher execution routines, so.
There's Javier Alfonso. What about his difficulty? What do you think so far?
So far, not bad. Not the most difficult routine out there, but again, pretty solid routine.
That was a tight spin.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. And Nebraska sticks another vault. Wow. So that was on a 2.5 twisting vault as well.
They didn't have a ton of height, but it was just.
No, the judges do look for the height on your vaults, but still, that he has that difficulty advantage and the stick, so that'll be a great score for Riley.
So right now, Nebraska has the lead right now, but it's just because of the vault.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's actually the third stick in a row for Nebraska on vault, which is just that's very impressive. You know, vault's one of the hardest events
Nebraska
to stick on.
doesn't have the
Just
lead.
how quick it is and how
357.
crazy it can be. So the fact that you got 3 sticks in a row is pretty
358.
impressive. Here again, you can
Michigan's
see
got
that
the
stick
lead.
from
But Nebraska moved into second place.
from Evan Riley. So that was scored very well.
Not according to the scores at the bottom of the screen.
Here's Evan Manavong, 13.3, one of his season best so far. Gonna try to top it to hold off Nebraska.
Yeah. And on vault we have
Now
Yeah, this
Nebraska's
is
got
Charlie.
the lead according to that.
Yeah, Charlie Giles, showing Nebraska Cornhuskers.
371.
Yurchenko 2.5 twist. A slight step forward, but again, that is just a great vault for Nebraska. And they're having a solid vault rotation. Now back over to Evan Manavong on high bar.
.386.7.
I was a big fan of those one-arm elements.
386.25.
With those one arms, you help eliminate some of those angle deductions that are pretty common on high bar. Slight hop backwards, but still a pretty decent routine for
Yeah,
Evan.
I'd say so too.
Yeah.
Here for the Michigan Wolverines.
A solid dismount.
Here's a replay of Giles.
Yep. You can see he almost
I
stepped out
think
of bounds,
this
so
meet
those
is
white
held
lines,
in
you,
Illinois.
If you have
Illinois is the
one
home
foot out of
team,
bounds,
not
that's a 1/10 deduction, and if both feet come
Well, Michigan
outside
and
of those two
Nebraska
white
are
lines,
the
that's a
road
3/10
teams.
deduction. So it was almost, but
There's
almost out of
two
bounds, was
road
able to
teams,
keep his
'cause
foot in
it's
bounds
prime.
and save that extra 10.
Here's Taylor Kurtopoulos trying to get Nebraska over 400 with this event. Hop forward a little bit. Is it good enough?
Oh, that was a great 2.5. I do believe though that was where are we at? Yeah, and there it is. Yep, Nebraska broke the 400 mark.
Kurtopoulos' high is a 14.95. So almost had a 15 on the vault this year.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to quite do it. Yeah, he did have that
He had a little bit of a hop.
Yep, that hop forward, but that's still going to score very well for him. Now, Jordan Kovac for the Illini will be up next on high bar.
So now Nebraska's going to finish up with a 4.9 most likely. Or no, probably above. They're going to replace the final score.
Yep, and the final score just came in. So Nebraska will finish the day with a 401.6. So not quite the performance they were looking for. And it's just a question of if Illinois can maintain their lead that they had on Nebraska to begin with before this rotation started. Now Jordan Kovac finishing up his routine.
A little bit of a hop back, but
Yep.
still.
Slight step. No, he wanted that stick, but
I feel like you got good height on that
yeah.
one.
Yep. Overall, it was a pretty good day for Jordan. No, he's going to have a good day on his senior night. Michigan finishing up that next parallel bar routine.
Doesn't seem too ecstatic with it, but still, I think that was a decent performance.
Yeah.
He's probably just
we
expecting more.
didn't get to see all of it, but yeah, he didn't look too pleased with it, but from what we did see, he finished it not too bad.
So Paul Judah, Cameron Brock, you keep seeing those names, they're going to finish it out on the
Yeah.
parallel bars for
And then
Michigan. And then Illinois, Amish Carter and Michael Fletcher.
Yeah, and again, just Paul Judah and Cameron Bach, just that 1-2 punch for Michigan. It's just, the two of them are just unbelievable gymnasts, and I know Michigan's just ecstatic to have this super performance. And now we got Hamish Carter on the horizontal bar for the Illini now. Hamish Carter is, after parallel bars, is the high bar is one of his best events, so we can expect a very good routine out of Hamish here. And again, similar to the parallel bars, just his line and his extensions on his giants and releases, all of the elements of his routine is just is very solid and very beautiful. And you can tell by just how well he's keeping his arms straight on these release moves. His legs aren't bending. The angles he's hitting on all of his turning elements or in-bar stuff. So just so far a very good routine for Hamish Carter. Now he's looking to finish it up.
So there might be a little drama. Michigan's down by, Illinois is down by 11 to Nebraska right now, and they only have one more scorer left. So they're going to need the 6 to replace.
Oh yeah, but that routine right there will easily be, that'll do it on that routine. They still have Michael Fletcher to put up another score, but Hamish Carter with an outstanding routine. Now we're jumping over to Paul Judah on the parallel bars.
Michigan's so close to overtaking Nebraska. As long as he scores at least a 4 on this event, Michigan's going to come out champs.
Yeah, great routine for Paul.
Well, I hope Michigan does win this meet, the Wolverines.
Replay
Be a
Amish
nice
Carter.
road win for them.
Yeah, just absolutely solid routine for Hamish. A pretty good day for Hamish. He had
97.4.
today was his video trial for the European Championships for him. So on top of this being just a big competition for the Fighting Illini, for him personally, it was also a big day.
Doing 6 events, God,
Yeah.
it seems so tasking.
Oh yeah, no,
Is it mentally?
there's no way I would have ever been able to do all around in college. One, I didn't have I just wasn't good enough. Two, it's so demanding. Like doing routines at this level and with this difficulty and intensity, it's extremely taxing on your body, and it's just so impressive that some of these guys are able to go up there and compete all around at such a high level. Now Fletcher with just a huge release move that's called a casino, which is a double flipping laid out release move on the high bar with a full twist. So very difficult skill. Some of these release moves the guys do just blow my mind. I could never envision myself doing something like that. Now Fletcher looking to finish up just a solid routine.
Illinois
Pretty big
took
hop
the
forward
lead,
at this mount. He's got a little under
4.75.
rotation, but still overall for
401,
Fletcher a great
6.
routine. And now we got Kick.
The
Well,
score
Cameron
must
is up
not have
next
been
on
updated,
parallel
because
bars
after
for
they
Michigan.
say
Quick
Michigan's
replay.
the champ,
Fletcher.
right now Michigan's in
The
third.
last one from Michigan Wolverines.
Oh,
At 411 right now, blew away their season high of 409.
Yeah.
Just a really solid performance for a program that hasn't competed in over a month.
No, it's the question for Michigan coming into today
rest,
was that rest. Was that, well, one, they haven't competed in like you said, over a month, but two, the 2 week
Well,
hiatus they had that
Michigan's
the
gonna
entire
be the
athletic
champ,
department had.
and they're gonna
where they
get
weren't
over
even able to go into
400
the gym to train.
points
So
too.
the fact
So I
that
think
Michigan
all
was able to
three
come out here
teams are
today
gonna have over
put up
400
a really big score, and were able to just they made a statement, and they made a statement like, hey, we're here to play. At
Yeah,
the
it's been
national level,
updated.
and you know what,
Michigan's got
we're the best in the Big
411.5.
Ten right now. So
Oh,
I'm just telling you, Michigan's built different. That whole athletic department, I don't know how that basketball team keeps winning. Just a very nice,
I love the
well-deserved athletic
Wolverines.
department.
but I love
Manuel
Ohio
deserved
State
that
too.
contract extension.
I'm a Buckeye fan.
but Cameron Bach was able to finish up a pretty solid parallel Barter team.
But
So
I love the LSU Tigers.
we'll get the final scores.
I mean, how can you
and
live in
final tallies
Louisiana
for
and
today.
not be a
We'll
Tiger
wrap up those
fan?
final tallies right now. Michigan is going to walk away with the victory. Probably going to be around a 7-point victory over Illinois Fighting Illini. Illinois finished second place. I mean, they scored 404. I think it's their season high.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
still,
they said
yeah,
the
404,
commentators
at
were
least 404,
saying
at least
Yeah.
the
that one team
404.75.
wasn't even
Still
going
waiting
to
on
get
Michael
over
Fletcher's score,
400. But
that
all
is
three teams did.
one of Illinois' higher scores
But,
this
I
season.
mean,
So
Nebraska kind of
401
took a slide back from last week's
six
performance against the
For
Golden
Nebraska
Yeah,
makes them in
definitely.
third
I know they will
place.
be.
Second
They
place,
will not be too
Illinois,
happy with their performance today.
404.75.
What event impressed you the most? Like, by a team? Which
411.500.
team in which event was like, wow?
Ooh.
And
I'll have to think
like
about this. I
Illinois
think-
is ranked number 7,
to
Nebraska's
go
ranked
with-
number 3,
Oh man.
and Michigan's
It's
ranked
tough because
number
They're all good.
So
they're all pretty
Michigan's
good
the
at,
highest
you know,
ranked team
I would say just,
of the
I guess
six.
just Michigan on all of their events.
Yeah.
I can't really pick one just because,
This
but
whole
just the fact that Michigan was
meet
able
was
to
like
come out
an
on all of
hour,
their events
59 minutes,
and dominate.
5,
You know, was
6,
just,
almost 2
like I
hours.
was saying before, it was just extremely impressive. You know,
So right now we're going to list off the top performers from each event.
yeah. So
Floor exercise, we got Paul Judah of Michigan with a score of 14.65. Paul Judah again on the pommel horse of Michigan, 14.2. Rings, Paul Judah, 14.5.
yep, and then Taylor Christopoulos for Nebraska. Oh, hold on, we actually just lost that score. But Taylor Christopoulos did have the high score involved. We just don't have that right now.
So overall, just a lot of great individual performances, but Paul Judah kind of ate all the cake.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, that guy's a rock star.
yeah, and he's Paul Judah and Kemp. Like as we've been saying this the whole day today. Just Paul Judah and Kemp are Bach, man. Like the two of them from Michigan, they're just unbelievable gymnasts. And like you said, like there was some just really good individual performances. But the thing that set Michigan apart today was not only their two top all-around guys, but that's only 12 routines out of the 30 routines that count. There's still 18 more routines that a team has to put up to have a good team score. And that's all the rest of the credit goes to the entire Michigan team because they just have a solid, absolutely solid lineup, from top to bottom, and they were able to just put up great scores and put up a great team score. And now we got the final. I believe now we have the final team scores. So
now
Michigan
it's
with a 413.3, which I believe is still one that is their season high. But
405.5.
that team score is right up there
Illinois
with
second place.
Oklahoma, who's been
Now actually
number one in the
Nebraska
nation,
hasn't
one of
been
the nation.
updated yet.
Illinois finished with a 405.55 after Fletcher's. Fletcher put up a 13.0, and then Nebraska coming in third place with a 401.6.
So you get the storylines like Michigan, not so rusty overall. Illinois able to bounce back, split it against the 2 and number 3 programs in the nation. Nebraska took a little bit of a slide, but still broke 400. So these are all very good programs in the top 7. And I just want to say, Mr. Paradise, thank you very much for broadcasting with me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being on here. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And everybody watching from Huff Hall, have a great day. And thank you for watching some Big Ten athletics with us. Have a great day.
Yeah, this meet was on February 21st. I don't think I uploaded Penn State, Illinois. Maybe I did, I don't know. But yeah, there's meets coming up, like March 6th, Penn State, Minnesota, Ohio State, Nebraska. March 10th through 16th, no games scheduled. For more full college gymnastics videos, men and women, smash the notification button, the bell, and you'll be notified when I post more videos. Peace out, YouTube.